important. One caveat, this is my first presentation in 18 months, so I might be a little rusty, so don't hold that against me. But I think we'll be able to get through this and hopefully we'll answer some of your questions here. Like Christy said, my name is Scott. I work for My529. I'm the marketing specialist, so I do a lot of the outreach functions like presentations, benefits fairs, community events, and stuff like that. So I'm really happy to be here. And what we're going to do today is we are going to go through the most common questions that we typically see when we are at an outreach event or in our call center. So hopefully these 9 questions here will either answer a question that you did have when you popped on, or that you didn't know you would have, and hopefully it answers that question and spark some other questions for you, or get you some answers that you were looking for. So why don't we dig in and start with that first question with, why would you choose a 529 plan to save for college? And that's a question we get a lot because there are a lot of different vehicles that you can use. Some people use Roth IRAs, some people use Coverdales, but 529 plans are each one's different, and 529 plans has its benefits. 529 plans were created to help people invest for higher education and K through 12 tuition expenses. I like to tell people that they're similar to a Roth IRA. And they are similar because it's a post-tax contribution. So you're putting in after-tax dollars into your 529 plan. Every state has a 529 plan except Wyoming. Even Washington, D.C. has a 529 plan. Wyoming did have a 529 plan years ago, but they just had low participation. So they decided to dissolve it and tell their residents that they could seek any 529 plan outside the state as well. So My529 is Utah's official educational savings plan, and we've been doing this since 1996. We're a nationally ranked organization, and our fees are among the lowest in the 529 industry. One of the reasons our fees are the lowest is because we're a direct sold. So there are 2 types of plans. There's a direct sold and an advisor sold. A direct sold means that the customer can come directly to us and open up an account and manage their account on their own. So you don't need a third-party person like a financial advisor to open an account. However, if you do want a financial advisor to open up an account for you, you're more than welcome to exercise your authority and do that as well. Our operations are overseen by the Utah Board of Higher Education, and we're a self-supporting state agency. So those 2 facts alone allow us to keep our costs down, which means that it's a much cheaper investment for our account owners. One thing that we always get asked is, are we a bank? And we can always tell you we are certainly not a bank. Another reason to pick us is for the tax benefits. It's the key reason. So earnings in a 529 plan grow tax deferred from both federal and Utah state taxes. Best of all is when you withdraw the money, it's a tax-free withdrawal when you use it to pay for qualified higher education expenses. A couple of those are tuition and fees, but there are more than that, and we'll go into those qualified expenses in a little bit. If you're a Utah resident, you can claim an annual Utah state tax income tax credit, and you can save a little bit more with us. So the state of Utah offers My529 account owners who are Utah residents a 4.95% state income tax credit per qualified beneficiary up to certain limits, which you can see on the screen here. So if you are a single filer, you would get that 4.95% tax credit on up to $2,070 in contributions, and you can see what your credit there is. On the right, it's a little over $102. If you're a joint filer, that credit extends out to $4,140 in contributions. So that is a little more than almost $205 in tax credits. The nice thing is that it's per beneficiary. So if you have 2 different beneficiaries that you're savings for, you would get that tax credit on both accounts. Same thing with 3, 4, all that. So it's per beneficiary. So you can really, multiply your state tax credits if you have more than one account. The only way to get the state tax benefit is if the beneficiary on the account is under age 18 when you open the account. So if your beneficiary is under age 18, you open the account, you will get that tax credit as long as they are on the account. So if you open up for a beneficiary who's like 10 and you're still contributing when they're 20, you'll still get that state tax benefit because you opened up that account for them when they were 10, which is obviously younger than 18. Now, if you open up an account for somebody who's 19, 20, 21, the state tax benefit is not an option. We also want people to know that there's more information on this in our program description. So please feel free to take a look at that and get more information there. Another question we always get is, who can I save for? So when you open the account, you will be the account owner. The account owner controls the account from day one till the day it's closed. So the beneficiary will not be able to call in and say, hey, how much money is in my 529 account? Because we don't deal with the beneficiary. We always deal with the account owner. Once you've named yourself as the account owner, you'll select your beneficiary, and that's the person you'll be saving for. The account owner on the account must be 18 and have a social security number or a tax ID number, and you must also have a physical US address. The beneficiary can be anybody you want to save for, but they too must have a social security number or a tax ID number. And just to note, there's only one beneficiary per account. So one question we always get is, can I save for all my kids in one account? Well, you have to have one beneficiary per account. Most beneficiaries that we see here are usually the children of the account owners, but we also see grandchildren. We see nieces, nephews, godchildren. We've heard stories of people opening ones for their neighbor kids. People open up for their spouse, but there's also people that save for themselves for to open up the door for them to go back and get a graduate degree or a doctorate or something like that. So we do have a variety of different type of beneficiaries, but know that most of them are, the children of the account owner. So you've got this account open. The next question is, where's my money going? Which is a fair question. Everybody wants to know where their money's going. Well, fortunately, we have answers for that. So when you sign up for an account, you identify your account yourself as the account owner, you identify your beneficiary, and the next step will be to pick an investment option. So each My529 contribution you make will go into that investment option that you selected when you signed up. We have 16 different investment options, and those investment options include a mix of like stocks and bonds and principal preservation funds. You can either pick ones that are just solely one mutual fund or a mix and match of them. I know 16 sounds like a lot because it is. But they do fall into 3 buckets. And if you can pick a bucket that works best for you, it really winnows down your choices and makes it a little bit easier. The first bucket we have is the age-based investment option. I always tell people to think of age-based like a target date fund in retirement. An age-based fund is going to track your beneficiary's age, and they are going to get more conservative as your beneficiary gets older, to the point where as you get closer to college, there's going to be a lot more invested in like the FDIC insured and the principal preservation funds than there are in stocks and bonds. And the 4 are going to range from really aggressive to really conservative. And what that means is your jumping off point. So if you're an aggressive investment option, your age-based is going to jump off for the younger age brackets, those 0 to 3 and 3 to 6. There's going to be a lot more stock mutual funds that the money's invested in. And then those moderate and conservative at those younger ages, like in that 3 to 6 and yet that 7 to 9 range, you're going to see more of that conservative stuff come in sooner than you would for the aggressive. There are going to be 10 static options, and those are going to be options that will stay that way until you make an investment option change. So the static options will range from aggressive to conservative, and they will just stay that way until you log in or you submit the paperwork to do an investment option change. And just so you know, you get 2 option changes per calendar year. And then the other 2 are going to be customized options. So you can do a customized static or a customized age-based, and you can build the investment that you want based on the funds that are available to us to invest in. So you can select as aggressive and as conservative as you want. And from the 16 investment options, there should be one, hopefully, that meets your needs. So when you open up an account with My529, we want people to know that it is an investment. We do not provide investment advice. It's one of the ways we keep our fees low, is that we are not registered advisors, so you don't have to pay an advisor fee. But with that, we don't give investment advice either. Funds invested in My529 are not guaranteed unless you use the FDIC insured accounts in Sallie Mae Bank or US Bank. And as with any investment, there is a chance that your account could lose value. It's always a good note to end on, right? What does it cost to participate? So what are we going to charge you to invest to help you save for college? The nice thing is that we're free to open up. So you can open up an account with the zero balance, and we're not going to charge you to open up an account. So it's free to open up an account. We also have no minimum contributions or no minimum balance required. So there's no seed money required to open up an account, and we don't require that you make regular contributions. We only charge a small administrative fee monthly once you start contributing. So the fees are detailed in the program description. And if you want to see more, you can go online and see that, or you can read the program description, and there are more details on what the fees are for each investment option. What is the contribution requirement? So once you set up an account, you choose an investment option. A lot of people will say, well, how do I start saving? Hopefully, we've tried to make it easy to contribute. And our goal is to allow people to contribute as much and as often as their budget allows. So there is no ongoing contribution requirement, like I said, and you can contribute what you want, when you want. So in this discussion, in this section, we'll discuss the different ways that you can contribute and look at how saving even small amounts can add up. Contribute to your My529 account in a way that just works best for you. That's what we tell everybody. We accept ACH, we accept one-time recurring contributions, one-time or recurring electronic contributions. You can do checks, you can do bill pay, you can set up payroll contributions. We even do rollovers. So if you want to roll over, if you have another 529 plan, you want to roll over your funds, you can do that. Or we do special occasion contributions. We also have a gift program, which allows you to get a unique code that you can share with friends and family. And when they send in a check with that code or make a contribution online with that code, the funds go directly to your beneficiary's account. We also at my529.org offer a free college savings estimator where you can plug in your savings goal and explore the possibilities. Account owners can also take advantage of more resources. Not only do they get the college savings estimator, but there's a lot of resources on how to find and apply for scholarships for account owners. People often want to know how much they should be saving. Again, we can't give advice, but we can tell you one thing, that regular savings do add up. If you're consistent at it, it adds up pretty quick. So even if you're saving 10, 25, 50, or $100 a month to defray college costs, it might not cover the whole degree, but it would cover books, it could cover housing, it could cover tuition and fees. I'll let you know that, the average account balance for a Utah account owner is about $10,000. So many people who save with us have the goal of just helping to cover costs. They're not necessarily trying to save for the whole shebang. But the most important takeaway is that every dollar you save means there's one less dollar you'll need to borrow and that you're going to be paying interest. So why choose My529 when there's all these other 529 plans? Well, that's a good question, because a lot of the things are the same, because we are a regulated industry in terms of, we're regulated by Section 529 of the IRS code, but we all have our little differences, and the differences are going to be in fees and then in the state tax benefits. So, we serve account owners in Utah, but we do have account owners across the country. People who choose to invest with My529 do it because of our investment options, because of our customer service, and because of our lower fees. My529 fees are among the lowest in the nation. So we believe in keeping fees low. And the reason is because if our fees are lower, there's more money in your account going towards your goal of helping you pay for your college costs. We're also really highly rated by Morningstar, which is an independent investment firm. We've earned their top rating for 10 years, and it's one of the reasons is because of our low fees. Publications like Money Magazine and Kiplinger have also suggested using My529 to help save for college costs. One of the big questions we always get is, now that I've done all this, what can I save? What can I use the funds for? You can use them for those qualified higher education expenses. That's the technical term, but they are defined. So when you make a withdrawal for one of these qualified higher education expenses, it's a tax-free withdrawal. And those expenses are tuition and required fees, Room and board for students that are going at least half-time, require books, supplies, and equipment. So for like architects, you can get drafting supplies. Computers, computer-related costs, which includes internet access, registered apprenticeships, K through 12 tuition expenses up to $10,000 annually at any public, private, or religious elementary and secondary schools, and qualified education loan repayments up to certain limits. So the one thing you can't use 529 funds for is for transportation or for cell phones. So to pay for a beneficiary to come back for Christmas or Thanksgiving or spring break, you can't use funds for that, and you can't use them to pay for their cell phone bills. Where can I use my funds? One of the big myths is that if you use My529, because we're in Utah, you have to stay in Utah and you have to go to a Utah school. Well, that's not true, because you can use it at any eligible institution, public or private, in the United States or abroad that is qualified to participate in federal student aid programs. So it's not just for Utah schools. It's every state across the country and even some select schools abroad. The illustration you see here tracks the withdrawals My529 has sent directly to institutions. We've highlighted a few of those different kinds of schools. As you can see, there's four-year, public, private, and even some technical schools. When it's time to make a withdrawal, you can request the My529 send a check to you, the account owner, to the beneficiary, or to the designated school. So this chart doesn't necessarily track people who made withdrawals to themselves or to the beneficiaries. This just tracks contributions directly to the schools. Drilling down a little deeper, you can see that we've sent money to the schools in Utah as well. So here are some of the Utah institutions. The schools in the left and right columns are our state colleges, universities, and technical schools within the Utah system of higher ed. If you look closely, you can find, your employer there, Salt Lake Community College. We do send a good chunk of money to Salt Lake Community College too. And in the center column are some of the Utah's private colleges and universities. So you can see Westminster and BYU are well represented there as well. The other big question we get is, what if my kid doesn't want to go to school, or what if they don't, what if I have money left over? You have options, because My529 is pretty flexible. You can change the beneficiary to a member of the family, or you can make what's called a non-qualified withdrawal, which is anything that is not considered a qualified higher education expense. So if you're not using it to pay for those tuition and fees, books, room and board, etc., it is a non-qualified withdrawal. If you make a non-qualified withdrawal, you'll pay income taxes and a 10% federal penalty tax on the earnings. Remember, this is a post-tax contribution. So those taxes are only on the earnings, not on the basis that you contributed. Utah residents must add back or claim the amount of the withdrawal as income on their state tax return in the year they made with the withdrawal, to the extent that the Utah state tax credit was taken. So you'll just add back the withdrawal as income on your state income taxes, and that's how you will pay back the penalties that way for the state. There are a few exceptions. If your child gets a scholarship, you can withdraw the amount of the scholarship and you will not pay the penalty in the state, or you won't pay any state taxes or the federal penalty tax. In addition, if your child decides to attend a U.S. Service Academy, the Army, Air Force, Navy, or Merchant Marine Academy, again, there's going to be no penalty for that. It also does not apply if your beneficiary cannot attend the school because of a death or disability. So again, you would not pay the penalty tax on that if that were to happen. You can leave the account open for your beneficiary's graduate expenses if they want to get a postgraduate degree, if there's money left over. You can also transfer the funds at no cost to a member of the beneficiary's family. Some people will change them over to a sibling, or you can hold it to the next generation. Some people will just use that money to seed it for a grandchild. We just want people to know the bottom line is the money is yours, it's not ours. So you can always get the money out, and you can always find other ways to use the money if you don't want to make a withdrawal. So that's what I have for today. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Just a reminder, it is free to open up an account and there's no required ongoing contribution, so you can contribute what you want when you want. We always ask that people read the program description, because that has all the rules and information in there. So please read that before opening an account. If you visit your HR office or download our one sheet, there is a $20 match for Salt Lake Community College employees. So If you are looking to open up an account and you want to throw in 20 bucks, we'll match that first 20 bucks you put in. And I believe that's open through the end of the year. So you have the rest of the year to kind of think about it and open up an account, and we'll make that match for you. So we always got the legal stuff, and I can go through that pretty quick. Like I said, please read the program description. I also said that, the investments are not guaranteed, so keep that in mind. We do not provide legal advice, so we cannot tell you which investment option is best for you. If you're not a state of Utah resident, please consider the 529 plan in your state first, because there might be some tax benefits that would be very beneficial for you to take. So with that, I think I have a few minutes left. I can take any questions that people may have. Or, we can always give us a call or shoot us an email, and we'll be happy to answer any questions on a one-on-one basis as well.
Thank you, Scott, for presenting. It's wonderful. We just have one question in the chat so far. It says, are fees per transaction, or is it a percentage? If so, what kind of fee can I expect?
So the fees are monthly, so it's not on a transactional basis. So if you make a withdrawal, there's no fee on the withdrawal, there's no fee on a contribution, there's no fee on investment option change or changing the beneficiary. All transactions are free, so it's just on a monthly basis. It's done at the end of the month. The average fee is usually in that it's about $2 per $1,000 per year. So if you have $1,000, you'd be charged $2 per year is about the average fee.
All right, it looks like that is the end of our questions so far.
Excellent. I love it when I do that well and there's just no questions left and everybody leaves understanding it so well.
You did great. I'm going to stop the recording.